If you've been struggling through dealing with or recovering from an unhealthy relationship with a narcissist or other toxic personality, the Little Shaman has a catalog of over 500 YouTube videos designed to support your journey from discovery to recovery. You can also find additional resources on the Little Shaman website, including tools, courses, workshops, a support group with weekly meetings, and one-on-one appointments with the Little Shaman that are open to clients worldwide. There's even an AI chatbot built and trained exclusively by the Little Shaman using her work that can answer questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, visit littleshaman.org. You can listen to the Little Shaman wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, the Little Shaman. Today I wanted to talk to you about something virtually everyone dealing with narcissists needs to understand, and that is the performative nature of the pathologically narcissistic personality. Even with all this talk about narcissists lately, people still don't seem to understand this aspect of the narcissistic personality structure. Yes, they understand they're seeing a performance, but they often don't realize how much of what they see is a performance or how deep this really goes. When we say the word performance, this implies a conscious masquerade, an intentional production with clear intent to pretend or manipulate, and there's no doubt that this can be the case in many, many situations. Certainly, narcissistic people consciously pretend and intentionally perform, but there are also aspects to this that go much deeper. The narcissist is not just performing for others, as is so often assumed. In many ways, the impact of the performance on others is incidental. The narcissist is not just putting on a show to secure supply or get things out of other people. It is much, much more important than that. When a person does not have a stable identity, when they are disconnected from themselves in the way that narcissistic people are, they have extreme difficulty holding on to a stable self-image. The narcissist's performance does more than just secure supply or fool other people. It concretizes an image of themselves into something tangible that they can actually see and experience. You can see this instability reflected in how unstable their personalities are. Personality is the expression of identity. When the identity is unstable, the personality is as well, resulting in the sort of fluid and changeable presentation of self that we so often see in pathologically narcissistic people. One day they're a hardcore vegan, the next they're an avid hunter who has always eaten meat. One day they're going to be a baseball player, the next day they're going to be an astronaut. It's very much like a small child in some respects, and like small children, adult narcissists often seem to be trying to create an identity as opposed to developing or exploring one that already exists. They often plunge headfirst into new hobbies or ventures, making it part of an identity rather than using it as the expression of one. The difference between personality and identity can be summed up as I like cats, which would be personality, versus I am a cat, which would be identity. It's very common for narcissists to take that extra step and use things that apply to them as a replacement for an identity instead of as just an expression of one part of who they are. This is creating and therefore performing an identity instead of expressing one. And it happens because narcissists have a need to define themselves externally somehow, since they cannot do it internally. This is related to what we see in infants and small children who don't have a sense of self yet or a self-image. They rely on the reflections from caregivers to experience themselves. If the caregiver consistently reflects to the baby that the baby is important and loved, the baby feels important, feels loved, feels secure with who they are and with their place in things. If the caregiver does not reflect this consistently, if they're neglectful, abusive, or otherwise emotionally unavailable, the infant feels unimportant and insecure with who they are and their place in things. This can be disastrous for human development, and it appears that narcissists in some ways are stuck in this place where they still need reflections from others to tell them who, what, and how they are. They are dependent on that, but they also resent it enormously, particularly because they cannot seem to get people to show them consistent images of themselves that they can be truly happy with. Something always gets in the way or spoils it somehow. This is the extent of the importance of others to narcissistic people. In one way, they're extremely important. In a very real fashion, narcissists cannot exist without their input. However, the people themselves are not important at all. The reflections are what matter. People function as mirrors for narcissists. And remember that when you look into a mirror, you don't see the mirror. You see yourself. You don't look at a mirror to see the mirror. The mirror itself is inconsequential. Its ornate frame serves as a frame for your own image, your own reflection, not something that matters for its own sake or that's even really seen and noticed in its own right. The reflection the mirror shows you of yourself is what matters. Anything about the mirror itself is simply seen either as an adornment to enhance or a flaw that detracts from that. This is the way narcissists interact with other people. It isn't necessarily something that's being done on purpose or that even has to be conscious. It's just the way the system operates. Narcissists cannot see other people as people the way that you do, for example. People are the props that make the narcissist's performance more believable. They are both the hat the narcissist is wearing for the performance and the mirror the narcissist looks into in order to see how they look in that hat during their performance. Both the props and the mirror are necessary to make the game truly believable. Think of a child playing dress up in front of the mirror and imagining themselves to be a rock star or a mommy or a daddy or royalty of some kind. They put the dress up clothes on and they look in the mirror while they pose and pretend to be whoever they're imagining themselves to be. What narcissists do is very similar to that, except that the stakes are much higher for them because with them it's for real. Their lives literally depend on the success and believability of the performance. Now again, some people might ask, but wait, aren't other people also the audience for the narcissist performance? Ultimately, no, they're not. You don't put on a show using props for the props, and you perform in front of a mirror so you can see yourself. The audience for the narcissist's endless performance is themselves. It's a performance of one, for one, by one. Just like a child playing dress up, only when they have the props to use that make the performance believable and a mirror that reflects their performance back to them, only then can they see and experience themselves in any real way. Without these things, they are nothing and nobody. Not in a grandiose sense, but in an actual one. Without that, they have nothing, are nothing, see and experience nothing. They must put on a performance of something to be anything at all. It is the performance of a lifetime. Hope that clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions, so please keep those coming. I take appointments online, over the phone, via text, via messenger, via email, and through Skype worldwide. So if you're interested in speaking with me one-on-one, you can visit littleshaman.org to do that. I teach workshops, classes, and seminars throughout the year, so if you're interested in seeing what we are running this month, you can visit littleshaman.org to do that. And if you are interested in joining our support group with weekly meetings, access to exclusive content, and more, you can visit littleshaman.org to do that as well. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by littleshaman.org. That's me, Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you. Have a beautiful day.